Urban horror legends from the United States are an integral part of the American folklore tradition. Spanning centuries, these tales are rooted in the culture and beliefs of communities across the country. From Native American legends of cursed objects and shape-shifting witches to modern urban legends of haunted houses, creepy creatures, and mysterious disappearances, urban horror legends have been captivating audiences for generations. Whether they have told around the campfire or shared over a cup of coffee, these stories are the stuff of nightmares, exploring our fears and anxieties in a way that only horror can. So let's start a journey inside the darkness urban legends from the United States. Deep in the earth of Algoma Township lurks a terrifying legend, the story of Hell's Bridge and the cursed soul of Elias Frisky. In the mid-19th century, several towns in Kent County experienced a wave of child abduction. It is said that Frisky's fervent sermons were a call to action, a rallying cry to vanquish the evil that had taken so many innocents. But beneath his pious facade lurked a far darker secret. The town was in peril, its children lost to some unknown evil. Desperate to find a solution, the people turned to one of their own, an elder by the name of Frisky. But what they found was not what they expected. Frisky's words were filled with a dark and sinister power, a warning of demons lurking in the shadows and preying upon the innocent. He spoke of fire and brimstone, a fate that awaited anyone who dared defy his dark gospel. The townspeople had no choice but to heed his words, for their children's lives were at stake. The townsfolk had been warned of the impending darkness, yet they chose to ignore the eerie warnings of Frisky, foolishly believing him to be the savior. Little did they know that their trust had been misplaced and Frisky was nothing more than a madman, driven by the demonic spirits of the dead and skinned children, who had been killed by his own hands. As the townsfolk searched the forest for the remains of their missing children, Frisky stalked behind them, picking them off one by one. Every time a child was slain, their broken and bloody bodies were thrown into the Woods River, never to be seen again. The townsfolk were in a state of shock, but it was too late. Frisky had already done his work, and their beloved children were gone forever. Returning from the failed search, the townspeople discovered a horrifying scene. The freshly murdered bodies of their children lay under a new bridge over the river. After capturing Frisky, who blamed demons for his actions, the townspeople lynched the old man by hanging him from the bridge. Legend has it that Frisky's body was quickly engulfed by the river below. They say the Hell Bridge is cursed, that crossing it is a risk not worth taking. It is said that those who dare traverse this path are doomed to a fate worse than death. Some claim to see strange figures roaming the bridge, while others report hearing screams and cries of despair in the night. Whatever lurks within its depths, one thing remains certain: the Hell Bridge is a gateway to terror. Dark tales have been whispered about the mysterious Alaska Triangle for centuries, a region where travelers disappear as if swallowed by the land itself. Reports of strange sightings and unexplainable phenomena lead to speculation that the triangle is a portal to a sinister realm, a place of terror and torment where the brave and the foolish alike can be lost forever. Over the years, 5 out of every 1,000 people have gone missing in this vast untamed land, never to be seen or heard from again. Dare you venture into the Alaska Triangle and risk the same fate? The Tlingit tribe, living in Juneau whisper of terrifying legend, one of sinister spirits known as Kushtaka. These shaped fighters, half man and half otter, lurk in the depths of the water, ready to snatch the human spirits of unsuspecting men, women and children. With their beginning cries for help, the Kushtaka lure their victims to the water's edge, never to be seen again. Beware those who wander too close, for the Kushtaka are always watching, waiting for a chance to steal away your spirit. From the icy depths of the Bering Strait, the beast known as the Kushtaka emerged, stalking its way through America. It was a creature of legend, a Yeti from Nepal, driven by some unknown force to find a new home. As it moved south and west, it left an unnatural chill in its wake, a terror that spread faster than the creatures it followed. Everywhere it went, stories began to spread of a strange creature, of something that should not exist, of an otherworldly being that was as real as the fear it inspired. In the end, Kushtaka left its mark in places as far away as Arkansas, Florida, Louisiana, North Carolina, and Oregon, and his legend lives on to this day. The shadows of the night cast a sinister veil on the search of the mysterious creature, yet still no clear evidence has been found. Despite this, there are those who claim to have seen it with their own eyes, law enforcement officials among them. To add fuel to the fire, in 1967, Roger Patterson and Bob Gremlin filmed a strange animal in northern California, the latter which will be nicknamed Bigfoot. Even after all these years, no one has been able to dispute the validity of these images, the digital video being too far away to be faked. A chill runs throughout the air as a family in Slaughterhouse Canyon, also known as Ruana Canyon, eked out a living during the Arizona Gold Rush. The father, in a desperate attempt to provide for his family, ventured out into the canyon in search of food and gold, leaving his wife and children behind. Weeks passed and still he did not return. The wife and children, slowly beginning to starve, waited in vain for his return. The echoes of his family's cries reverberated through the canyon, a sinister reminder of the slow descent into madness. Starvation had taken its toll, leaving them unable to survive. As the mother watched her children wither away, she put out her wedding dress, a last desperate act of futile hope. Her heart broken, screams filled the canyon as she took her children's life, throwing their bodies into the river below. The next morning, the mother was found dead, her body consumed by her own despair. An eerie silence filled the canyon, a reminder of the family's tragic end. Today, visitors to Slaughterhouse Canyon report feeling the fear that still permeates the air. And in the evening and night, when the air is still and thick, it is said that you can hear the screams of the children and the mother as she made the tragic decision to end her suffering. Legend has it that if you go down into Slaughterhouse Canyon at night, even now, you can hear the loud, anguished cries of the mother who went mad. As with almost every legend ever told, there are different versions of the shaman story. However, almost all versions involve someone being badly burned. The legend of the shaman is said to be quite gruesome, as it tells the father and son were unfortunately caught in a house fire in 1948 and both horribly. The father was burned to death and the son suffered horrible burns but survived. However, the trauma of watching his father die and the excruciating pain on the burns caused the son to go insane. The most horrifying scene in the story was when the authorities arrived, shocked and disgusted to see that the son had skinned his father's body and hung it from a tree. As the officers watched the horrific scene, the son emerged from a bush and attacked them, then ran off into the woods to become a shaman. There is a second version of the story, also set in 1948. It also tells of a massive fire that consumed much of the town of Ojai. In one particular house, a man and a woman were trapped in the fire. The man was able to escape but was so badly burnt that he was unable to move. As the man lay in his yard, out of reach of the fire, he could hear his wife screaming, "Help me!" from inside the burning house, but could do nothing to save her. The experience of hearing his wife burn to death and the pain of the burns caused the man to become the terrible monster now known as shaman. Since then, the shaman has been seen roaming the woods around Ojai, occasionally approaching the tents of innocent campers or posing as a hitchhiker and attempting to attack them. Another version of the story is a little less dramatic and it is said to take place sometime in the years 1950s. In this version, shaman is a man whose car broke down and burst into flames, burning him badly. Afterwards, shaman went into the woods and terrorized drivers who crossed the same bridge where he was burned. In fact, it has become a local legend among Ojai residents to stop their cars on the bridge at night and yell "Help me!" into the surrounding darkness, and considering the origin story where shaman heard his wife scream "Help me" as he was being burnt to death, it is not a very nice thing to do. However, some claim that after screaming, a figure is seen running toward them from the woods. In reported encounters, it is a badly burned man with horrible scars. In other accounts, the man is still burning, so that his orange glow can be seen deep in the forest before he approaches. Legend has it that if you don't get out fast enough, the shaman will come pounding and crawling at your car windows. If you manage to break through the window, he will drag you out of the car and skin you alive. The watery depths of Lake Lanier are a haunting reminder of the lives that were once lived there. A village, a ferry, a racetrack, and cemeteries all remain, albeit in a damaged state. It's almost as if the government wanted to preserve the memories of those that were forced to leave, and so they choose to submerge the villages rather than tear them down after receiving congressional approval in 1946. It is a chilling thought to ponder the secrets that Lake Lanier holds within its depths. When it flooded, the valley communities that contain a cemetery, so it is considered cursed, as the tombs and other structures were supposedly left underwater. Today, for many it is a recreational access point for boating and water sports. However, more than 200 people have died in swimming and boating accidents on this lake since 1994, which further fuels beliefs about the curse on the lake. The murky depths of the lake are full of terror and mystery, with tales of strange creatures and cursed souls said to lurk beneath the surface. Reports of divers who have witnessed ghastly sights, such as a car-sighted catfish, mysterious floating homes, and debris only served to add to the fear of what lies beneath. Even more unsettling is the legend of the Lady of the Lake, an apparition of one of the two women who tragically perished when their Ford sedan plunged off a bridge in 1958. She is said to haunt the bridge, clad in a sinister blue dress that chills the souls of those who witness her. Tread lightly, for there is an unspeakable dread that lurks beneath the murky waters. Tale of a woman in blue dress, her arms beckoning from the depths, whispers through the woods. Or perhaps it is restless souls of those buried in unmarked graves, luring unsuspecting victims to a watery grave. Which fate do you choose? I tried this new style of video, let me know how you like it, and as always, see you next week on this same channel. Have a great time and see you soon. Bye bye.